Namaste and welcome to Georgia Highlands TV and our introductory level class on meditation and meditative asana practice. If you wish to build on today's practice, please seek the guidance of an experienced and qualified teacher in mantra meditation. Today in the West, yoga is taught primarily as a means of physical fitness and emotional well-being through the practice of postures called asana. Often, there is little or no instruction in meditation. And yet, if we refer to the ancient text, such as Patanjali's Yoga Sutras or Abhinavagupta's Tantra Loka, we see yoga defined as the transformation of consciousness. What is this consciousness? It is the prana, or energy, that releases the bondage one experiences as an individual ego and restores that which is never truly lost, divine consciousness, known as samadhi. Today's lesson will give a direct experience of the nature of this transformation and will lay a foundation for future practice. We'll begin by having a short overview of the 8 limbs of classical yoga. The yamas are the 5 universal ethical principles practiced by yogis. They are ahimsa, non-harming, satya, non-lying, asteya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, moderation of sexual desire, and aparigraha, non-possessiveness. The 5 daily practices of the yogi are the niyamas, and they are saucha, purity, santosh, contentment, tapas, self-discipline, swadhyaya, self-study, and Ishvara Pranidhana, awareness of divine presence. Ishvara Pranidhana is an experience that happens. Most every living being has had the awareness of divine presence at some point. It spontaneously arises, and perhaps you have experienced it while listening to a piece of great music, or observing a sunset, or looking into the eyes of a loved one. These naturally occurring experiences of divine connection give one a sense of inner calm and peace, and of the true feeling that a sense of being at home and at ease in the world. This feeling of divine presence was observed also by the ancient yogis. They would notice, as perhaps you have, that these experiences are fleeting, and they would wonder how can they maintain that experience in their day-to-day lives. And so the other limbs of yoga are the methods that they devised to achieve this goal. Those limbs are asanas, which are physical postures, pranayama, breathing techniques, pratyahara, drawing the senses inward to still the mind, dharana, concentration, one-pointed focus, dhyana, meditation, and samadhi, divine absorption. Ishvara Pranidhana, the awareness of divine presence. As the yogi becomes accomplished in making this connection stable in their day-to-day experience, they have the experience called samadhi, divine absorption. The practice of pratyahara, drawing the senses inward to still the mind, is a technique that we will be using today as we move through our asana and pranayama practices. In the studio today, we have John, who is an experienced yogi, who will be demonstrating the poses suitable for a beginning student, and Carol will be demonstrating those poses suitable for more experienced students. We are standing in Tadasana pose. Begin by focusing your awareness on a point out in front of you. It could be on the floor or perhaps the wall. And steady your gaze. This is called finding a dristi, a point of focus. Keeping the eyes steady in this way, we're able to give a focus for the mind and to calm the mind. Notice also that you can have some inside awareness, and you can bring a little bit of that awareness to your heart center. So you are touching the gaze with the external vision and also having some internal vision touching the area of your heart. In this way, we're taking the sense of touch and moving part of it inward to help still the mind. This is a technique for achieving pratyahara. As you continue to stand in Tadasana with some awareness on the heart center, touching the heart center, and some awareness external to yourself, begin to use the sense of hearing and use that inner hearing to hear the sound of the mantra Shanti while you're focusing on the heart center. The mantra Shanti simply means peace. If you prefer to use the word peace during our practice today rather than Shanti, then please do so. So now you can see that we have taken two of these senses, our sense of touch and our sense of hearing, and given them an inward focus. So even though you're able to hear the external sounds, the sounds of my voice, and to see the room around you, you're also keeping some awareness in the heart center and the sound of the mantra in the heart. As we repeat the mantra Shanti, it is a very easy repetition of the word, so that it's about a 5 to 10 second interval between the sound of the mantra. So one would not be saying in very rapid succession, Shanti, 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 but rather be very at ease with it. Shanti, Shanti. And now to bring one more practice of pratyahara into our asana practice today, we're going to take the sense of sight, and as we touch the awareness to the heart center and have the ears turned with some hearing to the heart center in the sound of the mantra, we're also going to visualize a white light in the heart center. Now there will be many times in our asana practice where these instructions will be repeated, so be at ease. It's new and you may lose it from time to time. Do not worry about that. Just simply as the instructions are given and you are reminded to be aware of these internal focuses, easily go back and establish those within the heart center. Standing in Tadasana, we'll begin with Nataraj Asana 2. Begin to inhale as you bring the arms out to the side, coming up on the toes, extending the arms overhead, lengthening the body. There's a full breath retention on the extension, and then exhale as the heels come to the floor. The hands come together in prayer position. The base of the palms comes to the top of the head, and you come into a squat. Exhaling on the way down, and then immediately begin to inhale as you begin to lift. Again, coming back up on the toes, if you're able to do this. And then heels to the floor, exhaling, arms out to the side. So remembering that John is demonstrating the beginning pose, Carol the more advanced pose. We'll repeat each asana today twice. So standing in Tadasana with awareness of breath, begin an inhalation, arms coming out to the side, coming up on the toes, extending through the body, lengthening toward the ceiling, hands together, and then exhale as the heels come to the floor, base of the palms to the top of the head, coming into a squat. Then as the breath is fully exhaled, then begin to inhale and lift back up into the extended pose, back on the toes, squeezing the buttocks together for stability, and then exhaling, heels to the floor and hands down to the side. You'll notice that the movement is very slow and fluid. The awareness stays until the very end of the pose. Going into Yoga Mudra now, bring the arms out shoulder height directly in front of you. Inhale as you sweep the arms around to the sides. Interlace the fingers and lift the arms behind you. To do this, you'll need to think of bringing the shoulder blades inward toward the spine and lifting the arms away from the back of the body. Now, maintaining stability in the legs by strengthening, tightening through the thighs and the hips and the buttocks. Lean back slightly, gaze toward the ceiling, and then as you have a deep breath, then begin to exhale and come forward into a forward bend, keeping the hands clasped overhead, if possible, allowing the head to drop toward the floor. And take a few moments in this position to reconnect. Touch the heart with your awareness. Find the sound of the mantra and the white light in the heart center. Let the breath be slow and steady. Release the hands now and bring them down to the floor gracefully, mindfully, coming into a standing forward bend, Uttanasana. And now leaving the arms very relaxed, slowly round the back up, becoming aware of each vertebra as you do so. Maintaining that awareness in the heart center and the sound of the mantra as you lift back up into Tadasana. Inhale the arms straight ahead again. Continue to inhale as you swing the arms around you, getting a complete breath. Interlace the fingers and lift the arms. Squeeze the thighs, the hips, the buttocks together, and look up toward the ceiling. And then begin to exhale as you come forward. Either resting the clasped hands on the backs of the hips or allowing the arms to continue to travel over the back of the head. Finding the touch of awareness in the heart, the sound of the mantra, and the light as you release your hands slowly, moving into a forward bend. Now we'll transition into Adho Mukha Svanasana by stepping back on our mat. Raising the hips toward the ceiling. Stretching out the backs of the legs and opening up the shoulders and the chest. Now drop the knees to the floor. Sit on the heels and swing the legs around in front of you as we transition into Paschimottanasana. In Paschimottanasana, the spine is straight. The legs are extended in front. We have awareness in the heart center. We have some internal vision, internal gaze in the heart center, and the sound of the mantra. We'll begin to inhale as we bring the arms overhead, extending the spine, and then exhaling, folding forward. In this position, it's possible to close the eyes and to let all of the sense of sight be focused inward. Continue to breathe deeply and steadily, allowing the mind to rest in the sound of the mantra in the heart center. Beginning to release now, place the hands gently above the kneecaps and slowly lift into an upright position. Repeating the posture, we'll inhale the arms overhead, lifting out of the hips, exhaling and folding forward. The breath should be deep and steady. You will notice in this position that as you inhale, the body will lift slightly away from the thighs, and on the exhale, you will gain a little bit of extra flexibility in the spine to move forward. So this cultivating this deep inner awareness allows you to have very good perception of the ability of your body without any harm. In this way, we are able to practice ahimsa in our asana practice. Release the hands and place them gently above the kneecaps. And then very slowly, with awareness of the movements of the spine, inhale. Take a moment to reconnect with your awareness in the heart center. You're touching the heart center with your awareness, easily resting part of the mind in the sound of the mantra, Shanti, and visualizing the white light in the heart center. Moving now into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose, or spinal twist. We'll bring the left heel under the right leg, and then we'll lift the right leg and place the foot over the left knee. The right arm will be placed by the right hip. The left arm will extend overhead as you inhale. Exhaling, you may clasp the knee with your left hand, or if you're able to go in the position that Carol is demonstrating. Then as you take another breath in, this is where we move into the deeper twist, rotating with the lumbar spine to begin with, and then allowing the shoulders and the head to follow. In yoga, we endeavor to establish our consciousness stabilized in samadhi in the field of action. As we move through asana practices, we'll discover that we will, as beginners, lose the awareness of the heart center, the sound of the mantra or the light. And so it is through practice that as we move, we come right back to that awareness to establish pratyahara. This way we move into what is known as dharana, concentration or one-pointed focus. Now slowly begin to unwind and release the legs. Repeating the posture now, we will inhale the left arm up as the right hand comes behind and supports torso at the hip. Exhaling, we'll begin to clasp the right knee with the hand and begin to turn from the lumbar area, allowing the shoulders and the head to follow. Slowly begin to come out of the position, keeping awareness present until the body is forward. And then we will extend the legs. And then we will bring the the right heel onto the left hip. And bend the left leg and place it over the right knee. Facing forward now. Become aware of your breath again and find the sound of the mantra in the heart center. We will inhale the right arm overhead as the left hand comes behind you for support. And exhale, begin to clasp the right hand around the left leg, turning with the lumbar spine, moving into the full spinal twist. Slowly release the posture, maintaining awareness as you come around to the front and extend the legs. If you feel any tightness in the hips and you'd like to move the feet around to ease that discomfort, feel free to do so. Now swing the legs around behind you and come onto hands and knees. As we transition to a position where we're lying face down, moving into Bhujangasana or Cobra. We start with the forehead on the mat, not the chin. And we exhale completely and then begin to inhale as you slowly articulate the movement of the cervical spine. The head begins to come away from the floor, and we continue to inhale slowly as we lift the upper body away from the floor using the strength of the arms. Holding here, check to see if you have awareness in your heart center, if the sound of the mantra is still with you. Now very slowly, very slowly begin to come down. There's great benefit in executing the asanas slowly with awareness. Pausing for just a moment, exhaling completely, and then begin to inhale as you bring the nose across the mat and then the chin, and then continue lifting. John is demonstrating the beginning position, frequently known as Baby Bhujangasana, Baby Cobra. Carol is in the more extended version. While in this position, you can have the gaze moving toward the third eye center. And exhale now. Slowly maintaining awareness all the way down to the end of the posture. Relax the shoulders, extend the arms overhead, and then roll over onto your back. To ease the hips a bit and release any spinal tension that we may have acquired during Bhujangasana, we'll bring the knees into the chest and move into happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. And just rock around for a moment. Find the ease that you need in your hips. Before moving into Shavasana pose. In Shavasana, we'll have the legs completely straight. The arms stand by the sides with the palms up. If you find it difficult to lie on a flat surface, then you may use some support under your knees or a small neck pillow under the neck. Shavasana is considered by many to be one of the most difficult poses in yoga. Why is this? It is because this pose cultivates a very refined sense of awareness. We'll be going through a process of tensing and relaxing the body on our way to a more clear understanding of the practice of Shavasana. We'll start by bringing awareness to our feet, and we'll tense the feet up, point the toes and tense the feet tightly, and tighten up through the calves and up through the thighs. So now you're holding the legs in a very dynamic state. As you continue to hold the legs in this way, bring your awareness to the upper body, the arms and the face, and relax them completely. Now begin to release the energy from the feet first, and then the calves and the thighs. Bring your awareness to the root of the body, the organs of elimination, and tighten, bring in Mula Bandha. Mula Bandha is an energetic lock in the body where we pull the pelvic floor inward and up. Tightening through the buttocks and the abdominal muscles now, through the chest and through the upper back. Hold these muscles with as much energy as you can. And while holding them now, bring your awareness back to your feet and relax them. Relax the arms and the face. What we are gaining here is an understanding of how energy is held in the body and how, with lack of awareness, we often hold energy unnecessarily in parts of the body. Now beginning to release the root lock, relax the buttocks and the abdominal muscles and the chest. And take a deep breath. Bring your awareness to your hands now and make some fists. And push the hands strongly into the floor. And push the upper arms and the forearms strongly into the floor. And as you hold this position, holding this dynamic state of energy in the arms, bring your awareness back to your feet, your hips, your belly, and your face, and relax them completely. Slowly begin to release the tension in the hands, and the forearms, and the upper arms. Take a deep breath and relax the body. Bring your awareness now to your jaw. Clench your teeth together. Push your tongue into the roof of your mouth. And purse your lips and wrinkle your nose and squint your eyes, so that the face now has a lot of dynamic energy. And hold this energy here as you observe the rest of your body to see if it is relaxed. One thing you will note is that if your awareness begins to falter, you will lose the contraction in your muscle. So it takes awareness to hold a muscle, and it takes awareness to relax the muscle. Begin to release the face now, relaxing completely. Starting at the feet now, tense both feet. We're going into a full body tense sequentially. So we're tighten the feet, the calves, the thighs, contract the buttocks, pull in the root lock, Mula Bandha, tighten the abdominal muscles, tighten through the back and the chest. Make some fists out of your hands. Press the forearms and the upper arms into the floor. Clench your teeth. Push your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And purse your lips. Scrunch up your nose and your eyes. Now, in this position, I want you to hold as much dynamic energy in your body as you can. And hold it there. And as you're holding it, notice that the mind can be very calm. So because the body is holding energy in a dynamic way, does not mean that the mind has to be in a state of agitation. So as we do this practice, we come to a deeper understanding of that principle. So the mind is very relaxed, the body is very tense. And you'll notice as you're holding here that if your awareness falters, then you will lose some of that dynamism, perhaps in the hands or the feet or the belly. Starting with the face now, begin to relax completely. Relax through the shoulders, the arms, the torso, the belly, the thighs, the calves, and the feet. Continue to breathe deeply and steadily, allowing each breath in with awareness to relax you and allow the muscles to sink into the floor very effortlessly, supported by the earth. Each inhale bringing a new wave of awareness and an opportunity for a deeper release of tension in the body. As we practice Shavasana, the goal here is not to allow the consciousness of the individual to go to sleep or to go into a dream state. Rather, it is to create a state of very sharp awareness, an awakened state, while taking the body into very deep states of relaxation. And as we practice, we come to the discovery that we can only take the body into these deeper states of relaxation with a very highly cultivated awareness. As we practice Shavasana, we will discover that similarly, when we were in standing poses, having an external gaze as well as an internal one, that we can have our awareness be localized on one point and then also have a very broad focus at the same time. So in Shavasana, you can continue to have awareness on the heart center. At the same time, another part of your awareness is moving through the body, taking the body into deeper states of release. When practicing alone at home, you may practice Shavasana pose for 5 to 10 minutes. To come out of Shavasana, now we bring awareness to our feet and hands and begin to create some small movements there. The goal is to have the movements be very gentle because we want to take this sense of heightened awareness with us as we transition from a position on the floor into a seated position going into pranayama. So very gently bring your knees in towards your chest. And if you feel some tension in the hips and would like to move side to side for a moment or two, that's acceptable. But then when you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto your right side and pause for a moment. Finding that awareness in the heart center, touching the awareness to the heart center, hearing the sound Shanti in the heart, and seeing this light there. as well. Push yourself into an upright position, coming into Sukhasana or Padmasana for our pranayama practice. John will be moving into a position by the wall for additional support. You may take a blanket, a folded blanket, to raise the hips during your meditation practice. What is important in your seated posture is to keep the spine, the trunk, the neck, and the head in a straight alignment, or as straight an alignment as possible. This sends the signal to the body that you are ready to be alert and to pay attention. So as we discussed in Shavasana, the goal is to create awareness, not a dreamy state or a state of sleep. Similarly, in the seated pose, if we recline the body back, most of us are habituated into receiving that as a signal to go into sleep or to dream states. So for our practice purposes, we sit in these poses. John is demonstrating easy pose called Sukhasana, and Carol is demonstrating Padmasana, lotus pose. Close the eyes as we begin to go into our pranayama practice. Become aware of the touch of the breath and the tip of the nose. Notice its coolness on the inhalation and its warmth on the exhalation. Notice simply by becoming aware of the breath, it begins to deepen, become a little more slow. On your next breath, bring your awareness from the tip of the nose inward toward the third eye chakra, the Ajna chakra. The position of this is that place inside your head. Traditionally, it's described as being about an inch above the center of the eyebrows and about 2 inches inward toward the brain. This is the place where your sense of I arises, where you perhaps hear the sound of your own voice in your mind. So we're going to be breathing in awareness from the tip of the nose in toward this third eye center. And on the exhale, we'll take that awareness from that third eye center and move it back out to the tip of the nose. On our next breath, we'll be introducing the mantra Soham. Soham simply means I am that. So we will inhale from the tip of the nose toward the third eye center as we silently within our mind hear the sound So. And we'll exhale, bringing awareness from the third eye center back out to the tip of the nose as we silently hear the sound hum. Inhaling with awareness from the tip of the nose toward the third eye center. Exhaling awareness from the third eye center to the tip of the nose. Hum. And continue moving this awareness to to the sound of the mantra. Now, as you inhale to the sound of the mantra, also see a white light moving from the tip of the nose inward to the third eye center. And as you exhale, see this light moving from the third eye center to the tip of the nose. As you repeat silently the sound hum. Inhaling awareness from the tip of the nose to the third eye. We see the light moving and the sound of the mantra. So. Exhaling, we see the light moving from the third eye center to the tip of the nose and hear the sound hum. On your next breath, as you move the white light from the tip of the nose inward to the third eye center, hearing the sound of the mantra so, then on the exhale, we'll move the light down to the tip of the spine as we hear the sound hum. Then we will inhale from the base of the spine, slowly moving upward, keeping the breath steady, up to the third eye center as we hear the sound of the mantra. So. On the exhale, we will again bring the light from the third eye center down toward the base of the spine to the sound of the mantra hum. Inhaling again from the base of the spine to the third eye, seeing the light move from the base of the spine to the third eye, and hearing the sound of the mantra. So. On your next inhalation, as you bring the sound of the mantra up to the third eye center, stay there. Allow the sound of the mantra to be only in the third eye center. The white light and the sound of the mantra are held in the third eye center. Begin to let go of the attachment of the breath to the sound of the mantra. Let the primary awareness rest in the sound of the mantra. The mantra becomes softer now. So hum. So hum. So hum. We do not try to stop other thoughts from coming into the mind. We do favor the sound of the mantra. The experience is one of the other thoughts being in the periphery of the mind, but the central focus is on the sound of the mantra at the third eye center. As we easily favor the sound of the mantra this way, allowing other thoughts to arise and to disappear as they will, inevitably we will find that some thought or image will come along and pull us away from the mantra. Eventually, though, the awareness comes that you have left the mantra. And when this awareness is there, we simply let go of whatever thought or image has pulled us away. We simply let go of that thought and return effortlessly back to the sound of the mantra. It is important once you begin to meditate that you keep the eyes closed and the attention inward for the duration of your practice. As you continue, you will notice there will be many voices that you become aware of in the mind. Perhaps there's a voice being very critical of your actions, wanting you to perform certain tasks, or reminding you of obligations that you need to meet. All of these are stresses of the mind being released as you are resting the awareness in the sound of the mantra. So we continue for the duration of the practice, always easily favoring the sound of the mantra and letting the other thoughts arise and disappear as they will. Now please keep the eyes closed until you're asked to open them as I sing the prayers of my tradition. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The translation is, O Lord, may we be protected, may we be nurtured, may our study be filled with light, may there be no ill feeling among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now bring the hands to prayer position up to the third eye center as a graceful reminder of your intention to live with an open mind. Then place the palms over the eyes and pause for a moment as you connect with the understanding that you are moving from an internally focused awareness into an external one, and having the intention that this internal silence that you have experienced in your meditation will carry forward with you as you move into the field of action. Now slowly open your eyes into your palms. And bring your hands to prayer position at the heart as a reminder to live with an open heart. May you live with grace. Namaste. There is a column of light and love that connects you to the divine and to the Mother. Know this place deeply.